What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, I am going to talk about 3 things that you need to know about the guy before you actually jump into the relationship with him. Now, I'm doing this because I asked on Snapchat, for some topics to talk about, and one of my Snapchatters or followers said, they wanted to know 5 things 5 things that they should do to get to know a person better before the relationship. And so I'm going to make a video on that. So if she's watching this isn't the video. I'm going to make a video on that. But I think this is important too, right? And I'm sorry if I'm really, making you dizzy. I'm holding it here, but we're going to jump right in, okay? So here's the thing. I think the reason I made this video because I think it's really important to know these things. I always tell people, if you want to date the right person, you have to build the right foundation, right? The logistics. Is the person actually looking for one? The distance, where'd you find him, what he's actually looking for, all those kind of things. But I'm not going to talk about the distance and stuff like that because that's not stuff you can really help, okay? I mean, that just is. So I wanted to talk about these 3 things. And the first thing I wanted to talk about was his dating or relationship history. Not just his personal relationships with his, intimate relationships, but just family, okay? So, and I want to go 2 different ways with this. One, we're going to look at his personal relationships, like his intimate relationships. If he has never had a super serious relationship in his life, more than a year, then I see that personally, again, depending on his age, of course. If he's over 30 and he hasn't had a year relationship, that's a problem. In my opinion, he's a 50-year-old man, he's never married. I'm not saying everyone wants to get married, but that kind of shows a guy, or, where his intentions are. He just doesn't see marriage or compatibility, or maybe not see monogamy as something serious. Again, there's a lot of people who don't get married, but they still want monogamous relationships. Understandable. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're dating a guy who has never had a serious relationship, what makes you think he's going to change that for you? What makes you think he's going to change his ways, his ground, his roots, his foundation, his lifestyle, his way of thinking, for you? What makes you think, hey, you know what? This guy's gonna change his way. He's gonna like me so much. He's gonna want a relationship with me. Trust me, a lot of people think that. I'm not saying it can't happen, but that's something important to think about, in my opinion. If a guy has not had a serious relationship and he's 30, 31, 2, 3, 4, 35 years old, I wouldn't be if I was a betting man, I would not put a lot of money on you two working out. I see patterns, man. Patterns are everything, and the reason I'm so good at what I'm doing is because I see patterns, right? I see how men work. Women think that this guy, a lot of women out there think, oh, this guy's different. This guy's changed. This guy wouldn't do that. I see the patterns, and I'm always right. I've only been wrong once in this whole thing, okay? So the second thing is the guy's ego and insecurities. I feel like a man's ego and his insecurities and how he thinks about himself will strongly, and this is a good, kind of a good predictor, right? Will strongly tell you where he's at in terms of wanting a relationship and what he's actually looking for, like his intentions. If he's a low ego man, he has some insecurities, I bet you he's not going to commit to you. And I say that because these guys, for a lot of the time, they like to kind of feel around, see what else is out there, boost their ego, get the attention of a lot of women. They feel like they maybe missed out. Let's say, again, he's a 30-something-year-old. Let's say he missed, or he's starting to, be a bachelor now, and he's starting to go around, look around. So, I mean, he might be like that because he felt like he missed out on his 20s or something like that, or he couldn't get girls in his 20s. Or, again, he has to prove himself. Like, let's say he couldn't maintain a relationship, or a girl left him for another guy, or cheated on him, or he just got out of a divorce or something like that. He's very, very unlikely to jump into a relationship because why would he, right? He's insecure. He's not in that mindset. He might want to prove himself or regain his masculinity. He might be a prideful kind of person. Trust me on this. A lot of guys are like that, okay? And, of course, the third thing, which I think you find out over time, I think you'll find out about at the 4-week mark, is if you guys are on the actual same page, right? So What I mean by that is, again, I wouldn't ask him, especially, I would ask him at the 8-week mark. I would not ask him at the 4. But you'll kind of know by how much this guy's investing in you, and if he's giving you his resources, time, energy, effort, money, that kind of stuff, if he's actually interested. Just because from a logical standpoint, if someone likes you, they're going to invest more in you in hopes of getting a bigger return, aka relationship, more attention, whatever it is, out of it. Now, I'm not saying someone who invests all their energy, time, effort, and stuff in you is someone who's looking for a relationship, but it's more likely. Think about it. If he wants casual, he's going to treat you casual. That's just common sense. But if he's actually sees some value in you and wants a little more, then he might put a little more effort in it. It's simple as that. So with that being said, ladies, there's 3 things that I think are very important that a lot of people don't think about. Again, you have to have the foundation. You have to have this kind of stuff in place, or at least understand it, so you can better not only come up with a game plan, but just kind of know what you're getting yourself into so you don't waste a lot of your time. Like I said, I said in previous videos, just because you like someone doesn't mean you're deserving of a relationship, right? There has to be the right things in place. And like I said here, if his relationship history isn't exactly great, then, that's a red flag. If his ego and insecurities are, surfacing again, he might not want to commit. And of course, if he's not on the same page as you, then, you're pretty much screwed. So with that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care and peace.